Hey everybody, Smart Silver Stacker here. Hope you're doing well. Breaking updates, Iran has launched the much heralded retaliatory strikes on Israel. This is going to be a bit of a hot take. This is breaking as we speak today. Keep in mind, everything we go over in this live stream, take it all with a grain of salt, because reports are coming in regarding this conflict playing out before our eyes here, but a lot has not been confirmed yet. And before we really delve into what is playing out here, let's just take a moment to realize that, these are real people. A lot of people are about to experience perhaps the worst day of their lives, the last day of their lives, and that is no joke. It's a very serious matter. And, if you're in a place like I am, where we really haven't been affected by this conflict yet, let's just take a moment to be grateful for that. But that being said, let's just get right into this. So, according to the reports that are coming through, Iran has launched hundreds of drones and missiles, at least 100 drones, according to what we're seeing here. And we're just going to go through all of the developments here, because this is breaking, starting maybe 30, 40 minutes ago, is when it came on my radar. And let's just go through all of the various updates. So Jordan has closed its airspace temporarily. Also, I've seen reports that the nation of Jordan will be allowing U.S. and British aircraft to target these drones and missiles that are perhaps transiting its airspace. Interestingly, there's this highlighted portion here on this report from Reuters that interference in Jordanian air traffic affected Jordan's GPS system, prompting planes in the area to use alternative navigation systems. This is similar to what we saw in Israel. I believe it was in Tel Aviv, where they scrambled the GPS signal. The idea there, at least my takeaway, is that it's to try to confuse some of these drones that may use GPS for navigation. But also there is the potential that this could be the result of some kind of a cyber attack. There are unconfirmed rumors of cyber attacks at this moment on Israeli air defense. The goal of some of these attacks may be to overwhelm and incapacitate the Israeli defensive systems, such as the Iron Dome. This is from earlier, this is actually late last night. There were reports of Hezbollah launching dozens of rockets and drones at Israel, and that the Iron Dome system, the objective here again may be to get it to use up its ammunition, to overwhelm it, to confuse it. And this was just perhaps a prelude, trying to soften up some of those systems before the main act, so to speak, which is apparently playing out right now. It's just after midnight in Israel right now, and so this is playing out in the overnight hours there. Let's see. We also have a report from this morning that Iranian special forces have seized a cargo vessel in a key shipping lane. This is near the Strait of Hormuz, the Gulf of Oman. And we've mentioned this on the channel several times, the risk of a regional war breaking out. One of the really big risks here is that Iran may attempt to blockade or shut down the Strait of Hormuz, similar to what the Houthis have done in the Red Sea. And Monday morning, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens to the price of oil. Certainly, oil, I think, has priced in this conflict to some extent, but now that it is confirmed, I would not be surprised if on Monday we see a big move in the price of oil, especially if what Iran is playing at here is a boycott of the Strait of Hormuz. This is a area through which something like 20% of global oil production. Oh, some people in the chat are saying I'm being too loud. Give me a 1 if it's too loud for you in the chat. Maybe I need to adjust my audio here. Let me take it down just a smidge. Let's see if we can improve this for you. Okay, how's that? Is that better? Let's continue here. So, Navy Special Forces from the IRGC reportedly used a helicopter to seize this ship. Now, one thing that is a little different here. Okay, yeah, people confirming I'm being a little too loud. Okay. Like a concert. Listen, this is serious stuff, but, if I'm screaming into the mic, sorry about that. People saying it's like a concert. Look, you got to appreciate the little things in life. Humor is important in dark times. Okay. So let's move on here. It's possible that we don't see a major move in oil. It's all going to depend on how this conflict plays out. It's still very early. It's Saturday right now. Markets don't open until Monday morning. A lot of this is going to depend on what Iran is targeting, I think. If they stick to targets near the border there, if they don't penetrate too deeply into Israel, it might not be as big a deal as it's being built up to be. On the other hand, this could end up being significantly worse than what we had, anticipated. If, for example, Iran does blockade the Strait of Hormuz, it'll drive the price of crude oil up tremendously. I mean, we're talking over $100 immediately if this is an effective blockade that lasts any length of time, because you cut off 20% of global oil supplies, and that's going to do a lot more than drive the price 20%, right? This is a critical resource. There's an inelastic demand. There's only so much oil burning you can cut before you start seriously affecting the global economy. But this is a real problem. The fact that the Strait of Hormuz is being shut down. But this really was just the prelude to what is going on now. It appears much more serious. Let's get into some of these reports that are on X right now, the breaking stuff. So the Ayatollah here, the leader of Iran, the supreme leader, has posted this video that says the malicious Zionist regime will be punished. And we can play this and read some of these captions. It says it's malice, evil, and error. Not to give a platform to this guy, but to get an idea of what's going on. It's interesting. He launched this video right as these attacks are being launched. So he says, by launching an attack on the Iranian consulate in Syria, the consulate and the embassy offices in any country where they exist. Yeah, all right. We don't need to play the whole video. I mean, it's recorded as a soil of country. You guys can go check this out. But the point is that he is, coordinating this PR campaign, if you want to call it that, along with these strikes. We also have images of hundreds of drones over Karbala, allegedly. Again, you got to take all this stuff with a grain of salt. But Karbala is a city in Iraq here. It's just southwest of Baghdad. It's a little less than halfway of the way between Iran and Israel. So allegedly hundreds of drones. The IRGC calling this Operation True Promise. There are also reports, and this is one that I have not been able to confirm, but perhaps that Yemen, or the Houthis in Yemen, you might say, have also launched a drone strike towards Israel. So if there is broad coordination between Iran and regional proxies, such as the Houthis, that could be an indication that this is more serious than what we might originally have believed. The idea here is, Iran may not want a regional conflict. Maybe they do. It's hard to say. I mean, I don't pretend to have any idea of what's going on in the mind of Iranian or Israeli leadership for that matter. But it seems to make sense that they would want to avoid a regional war, unless perhaps there is, a broader strategy here, perhaps between Iran and its, new allies in the BRICS organization or something along those lines. Maybe that sounds a little tinfoil hat, but it would be very interesting to see how they weigh in on this conflict over the following hours and days. Let's see, what else we got? They got this guy, Mario Nawfal. He's got a lot of updates. He's running a Spaces with an update, live updates. Some interesting stuff on his page. The simultaneous attack with drones and missiles may confuse the Israeli defense system, as it could come at different speeds, altitudes, and directions. And again, there's a limit to what systems like the Iron Dome can achieve. Also, it's important to note that we currently have, this is a report saying there's hundreds of cruise missiles that were being readied That was determined via, I don't know, satellite imagery probably. The U.S. saw these weapons being positioned. Something about aircraft carriers here. Here we go. So U.S. aircraft carriers have been repositioned to provide air cover and try to... now people are saying I'm too quiet in the chat. Sorry if there's audio issues here. It's hard to correct in real time. I'm just going to leave it where it is. I'll maybe get a little closer to the mic. Turn the volume up if you're having a hard time hearing me, because I don't want it to be blowing anybody's speakers out either. Now, this is notable. We also had the U.S. CENTCOM Commander General Eric Kurilla. He's the leader of CENTCOM, the Middle East Command, and he arrived in Tel Aviv on Thursday, so clearly there's going to be some coordination here between Israel and the U.S. on defending against this. But, you know, if there's a large volume of drones and missiles flying towards Israel, again, these systems are good. The defensive systems that the U.S. and Israel operate, of course, very expensive to operate too. Every time we shoot down a $20,000 drone or a $30,000 drone with $1 million interceptor missile, it's kind of at least a fiscal victory for the other side, if you ask me. And certainly an escalation here means that there's going to be a lot of borrowed money that gets pumped into this conflict. But anyway, we've got U.S. assets now in the area, destroyers, aircraft carriers, a whole aircraft carrier group moving into the area to help shoot down these drones. The price of gold, you know, this is the 1-year chart of the price of gold. And you can see that beginning in February, I mean, since February 14th, we were under $2,000. Just this past Friday, gold hit $24.30 before pulling back there at the close of trading to a level that it's currently at, $23.54. I think that on Monday, again, it all depends on what's going on, how this plays out. There's a lot of time between now and Monday morning, but I do think that given the fact that we have now seen this conflict escalate once again, we are very likely going to see the price of gold and also the price of silver moving higher on Monday. Again, you know, a lot of time between now and then, so we'll see. But this is something to keep an eye on. And, you know, as this conflict has escalated, the price of gold has ratcheted up too. Now, I mentioned in yesterday's live stream, I believe, that the price of gold is just a bellwether for instability, but also it's kind of a bellwether for the inflation, right? Inflation being the expansion of the money supply or rising prices, whatever you want to call it. A lot of money has been printed. So inflation and higher gold prices, I think, have been inevitable for a while. It's very likely that this conflict is going to be more the catalyst that finally drives the move in gold and silver that we've been anticipating for so long. Now, the fundamentals have been there, but maybe it needed a catalyst like this. However, I also think that, you know, if we see the price of oil skyrocket on Monday, that means inflation's not coming down, regardless of what the Fed does, especially if it stays there for a significant period of time. You know, triple-digit oil I'm talking about. And I do believe there's going to be a lot of scapegoating here for the inflation problem onto this conflict. That is something to look out for. And you got to understand, the inflation, the higher prices were basically guaranteed all along by all of the money creation, the monetary policy, the easy money policy of the Federal Reserve. So when you hear everybody referring to this, somebody put in a comment the other day, maybe it'll be called the Persian price hike, you know, similar to the Putin price hike. And, you know, the powers that be, they do love their alliteration when they're coming up with these idiotic monikers and scapegoats for inflation, but expect to see more of that. What else do we have? There were some other Now, this one is BS. YouTube, don't censor me. I'm pointing out that this is misinformation. There are reports going around of an explosion in Tehran. This is not accurate from what I have been able to ascertain. This is just BS. You do have to be careful with this sort of thing. Again, there's going to be, you know, people looking for attention, people trying to just get their 5 minutes, I guess, maybe posting fake news like this. So be circumspect about anything you see. There was also, the update regarding the IRGC calling this Operation True Promise. And there was something else I wanted to show all of you. I kind of hastily slapped this presentation together. Anyway, I think that's about it. You know, I might do another update later today. Keep an eye on the price of gold on Monday. Look, I mean, the news is going to be blowing up with information about this overnight. I might hop on if there's any major developments for another live stream. But listen, this weekend, I don't know if you have any other plans, you're relaxing, you're hanging out. It might be a good time to do some prepping of one sort or another. You know, get your ducks in a row for global supply chain disruptions, for soaring inflation. If there's anything that you need to buy that's manufactured in China, you might want to do that sooner rather than later. You might want to just review the preps for the basics. This is a powder keg. You know, we've been pointing this out since October on this channel. I know all of you are well versed in this, that there's a lot that can go wrong here. And that has never been more true than right now. So hopefully both sides are going to be able to show some restraint here. Hopefully this is Iran attempting to save some face in light of the attack on its alleged attack on its Damascus embassy. We'll see. If somebody makes a mistake here, though, this could easily be the beginning of World War III. And, you know, the worse this gets, the higher the gold price is going to go. And I think silver is going to follow, the higher the oil price is going to go. And, you know, regardless of your feelings on this, I see some people in the chat, they're posting kind of sentiments regarding this. You know, the actionable thing you can do now is to get prepared for what could be around the corner. You know, make yourself as independent of systems of support as you can. Not financial advice, but you might want to consider getting some assets outside of the digital financial system. I mean, you know, so far I mentioned at the beginning of this live stream that we're lucky, you know, in the U.S. and in the West largely that we haven't been affected by this conflict yet. But that could change. And, you know, one of the ways that could change is cyber warfare. That would be a obvious target. You know, the financial system in the U.S., we've seen the pharmacy system coming under cyber attack. Not so much the financial system yet, but that's always a possibility. So if you are concentrated in digital assets that are numbers in a computer somewhere, I want to get some gold and silver, money that's been around for thousands of years. Just a thought. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. Stay safe out there, everybody. Keep your head on a swivel and stay tuned to this channel. Make sure you subscribe for future updates. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe and happy stacking, and I'll catch you next time. Smart Silver Stacker out.